With the Flex Language Workshop, we can make language bend without breaking. To understand what that means, let's go through an example. Thoughts and sentences are made from parts, like words and phrases. Flex has two windows that we can use to find those parts. This window is called the Parents browser, and it shows parts like phrases, clauses, and so on. This window is called the Words browser, but the parts that we see in this window are not always individual words. Let's call them flex words. In a few minutes, we'll see what that means. Right now, both of these browsers are empty because we haven't created any parts yet. So let's do that now. I'll enter some text here. Tom bravely uses nunchucks to defend his children from rabid honey badgers. When I press the Parse button, Flex creates a parse tree from that text and displays it in the workspace. After creating a parse tree, Flex tries to convert the tree back into text. This process is the reverse of parsing, and it's called realization. If the realization is successful, Flex will display the realized text in the box at the bottom. If the syntax of the tree is not valid, realization will fail, and Flex will color this box red to let us know that. Because the realized text looks just like the text I originally entered, I know that the syntax of the tree is valid. This doesn't necessarily mean that the tree is totally correct, as we'll see later. But right now, I'm just trying to generate some language parts to work with. So this is good enough. I'll save this tree to the Flex database. And now we can see some parts in the two browser windows. I'll repeat that process a few more times to create more parts. The Oompa Loompas defeated the Munchkins in the World Series. I left my fuzzy cashmere sweater under the sofa. And finally,
we shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air.
The realization of this one is fine, but if you look closely at the tree, you'll see there's a problem. The prepositional phrase, in the air, is modifying confidence and strength, which could technically be true, but it's not what he really meant. He meant that they would soon be fighting in the air. So the prepositional phrase should be modifying this verb phrase. Let's go ahead and fix that. I'll grab the prepositional phrase and drag it to where it should be. When I start dragging, all the phrases and words become green or red to indicate whether this phrase can be dropped onto them. When I drag over the target, a blue caret appears, so I can select exactly where to drop the payload. In this case, I want to put it at the end of the verb phrase. Now we have another problem. I'm not so sure it's a good idea for the Royal Air Force to take on the Luftwaffe, so I'm going to change the battle plan. Instead of fighting the Nazis, we're going to fight the Oompa Loompas. The rabid Oompa Loompas. Since nobody needs confidence and strength in battle, let's get rid of that. Instead, we'll fight with nunchucks. Fuzzy nunchucks. Since we have fuzzy nunchucks, we'll fight bravely. Since the Oompa Loompas don't have an air force, we can't fight them in the air. So let's fight him under the sofa. Now we want to take this idea and express it in other ways that are similar but not quite identical. This is where the concept of flex words comes in. Certain parts of speech are designated as variable or flexible. For the most part, these are the parts of speech that we find in a thesaurus. When I select one of these parts of speech in the parse tree, the flex word editor appears. In the word editor, this word is called the root because it's the default form of the idea that we're expressing. This list contains thesaurus words of the same part of speech as the root and with related meanings. I'll select a word from the list that could be substituted for sofa in the sentence. When I press the insert key, the selected word is moved to this list. By doing that, I'm telling Flex that the selected word is a valid alternative to the root. In this way, I can specify alternative forms for nouns, adjectives, verbs, and adverbs. Now I've specified alternate forms of 4 words in the sentence. If I select the root of the sentence parse tree and press the Show Variations button, Flex will generate and display all the permutations of the sentence, using each specified form of each flex word.